And we're wondering why there's an epidemic, particularly amongst women, of chronic fatigue across the globe. We were actually taught it is safer to suspect your energy, disconnect from your energy, forget it's even a thing. Don't believe that there's such a thing as the energetic body. Don't feel what you feel in your emotions. Don't let it guide you. You have to go through a middleman. You have to go to the doctor. You have to go to the priest. You have to pray. You have to bend. You have to scrape. And again, this is relevant whether one is suffering from something that can be called chronic fatigue or illness or not, because for so many of us, we're just experiencing lack of luster, or we're experiencing a sense of lostness, when this guidance system, which we know when we're tiny children, which simply says, I'm going to follow what feels good. I'm going to do what brings me joy. I'm going to do what makes aliveness in my body. Actually, in this hilarious, wonderful, doing its best world that we're living in now, it's been turned upside down. So often we're taught, I'm going to do the thing that feels like the most struggle, and then I'm going to get a medal. All of these very interesting, you could say crazy belief systems that we've ingested lifetime after lifetime, lineage after lineage, in order to keep in line with what we were told during the 3rd to the 12th century, what was going on with the Roman Catholic Church, and then in the witch burnings. It's not safe to be one who is vibrant and alive and connected to your rambunctiousness. It's not okay to stand out. It's not okay to commune with the earth, to understand the cycles of nature. And now we reclaim all of this. Oh God, I have to shake that off now. Everyone, let's have a little shake. This is the time when we're letting this bullshit go. And it's not about blame. I've been a man and a woman in past lifetimes. I've been the victim and the aggressor. This is about understanding, so we can even more clearly make our way to what we're making now, right? Which is following the sound of our soul's roar.
Hello and welcome everyone to Witches Reclaiming the Roundtable Global Online Summit. And in this summit, we are calling in all of you, this new wave of witches, of sorcerers, as we are returning home to our ancient source of truth, which is the witch's way. And I'm so delighted that today, joining us live in this sacred space on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here in the UK, sunny in Scotland, amazingly, is Ellie Paskell. I don't know what it's like where you are, Ellie.
Oh, which is not sunny, but I am so glad to be here with you, Eimear.
I love it. I love it. I'm so delighted that you are here for this and that you said yes to showing up here live as we take our seats together once again beside the knights at the round table. And this summit really is a grand reclamation of the rising of this deep witch gnosis that we need. This is a key element for our continued creation and stepping into the golden age, or the age of gold, as I also like to call it. And I'm your host, Eimear Stassin. And before we dive in, I'll say some words about Ellie Paskell. Ellie is a somatic soul coach, creative and embodied revolutionary. She lives life guided by her felt sense as she supports people across the globe to create lives of truth and aliveness by following the guidance in their bodies. The first 2 decades of Ellie's life saw her walk the path of an actress, performing for millions in her work on stage and screen. And at 22, however, her body started to shout for attention with a concrete fog that wouldn't go away. So in 2012, after 5 years of clinging to life as she knew it, Ellie released her acting career and aligned with her soul. Wow. Since that time, Ellie has spent years away from modern culture, listening to and learning from her body and guiding others to do the same. And she now shares her work in the form of group courses, one-on-one coaching, global retreats, online summits as well, like this one, and supporting people to find freedom from societal constraints and to live from the beat of their bones. Oh my goodness, that is so, so beautiful. And your title today of what we're exploring is Follow the Sound of Your Soul's Roar.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh.
Thank you so, so much. And I'd just like to say thank you to the people that are gathering here as well. And please continue to pop your name and your location in and where you're dialing in from. And we will address you in the chat here on Zoom and on YouTube as well throughout our conversation. And Ellie, I know you wanted to start by guiding us in to the bones of our bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. Eimear, thank you for that introduction, and let's drop in. So everyone, I'm invite you to take a few minutes now to connect with your body. This is where your truth is, and this is your pathway to everything that you want. All the joy, all the health, all the aliveness comes from following your true guidance. So if it feels good for you, I invite you to let your eyes close. And if you'd rather not, just let them rest with a soft gaze. This is about allowing all of your eyes to turn inwards right now. You might want to be sitting or lying or standing, however is most comfortable for your body. And noticing that you are in a body here. Noticing that she or he or they are breathing. This is a being that knows. As you tune into that piece, see your roots dropping down into the earth. And see how, as they drop down heavy and grounding, that they are made up of and surrounded by mycelium. Your mycelium, this is the wildly communicative matter which links your roots to everything else in the earth. This is what your body has got access to. So now it's time to take a few minutes and see what is alive, what your soul is communicating through your felt sense now. Because your body is the mouthpiece of your soul. And before you tune in even more clearly to your felt sense, I want you to see a volume dial in your mind. This volume dial represents the level, the sound of all the outside noise which no longer serves you and certainly doesn't serve you in this practice. So it might literally be noise like traffic, like outside hustle and bustle. It might be the voices or the opinions of people or outside structures which don't feel true for you anymore, which don't align with your truth, which don't feel good in your body. And it might be the noise of ideas that you've taken on, which are now obsolete, which do not feel good. And see the volume dial now going right down to nothing. And here you are with your body. This is a being that knows. And noticing what's alive for you here in the lower half of your being. So we've got your beautiful feet, your legs, your sacred womb space or your hara. Your hip level, pelvic bowl, lower back. Hello. Gently inquiring now, what is here? You might want to give your toes a bit of a wiggle. You might notice the sensation of your body on the chair or whatever's holding you. You might feel energy. You might notice numbness. There might be impulses, there might be emotion. This is your body's voice. And now with your next breath, allow your awareness to journey up, taking in your back and your belly, your torso with your incredible organs, your stomach, your heart, constantly communicating with the brain in your head. Your arms, your hands, your neck and your throat, your head, your face. Noticing what is here, sensation, impulse, desire. And there may be pain, there may be pleasant sensation. Welcome it the way that you would somebody that you love. It all gets to be here. This is your body's voice. This is your undeniable truth. And now allow your awareness to take in the whole of your somatic landscape. So this is the whole of what you can experience in your body. There may be currents of emotion, sensations subtle and strong. There may be sense of comfort or discomfort, irritation, joy, something that you're ravenous for, something that's confusing, something that's clear in your heart. What is here? And now with your next breath, I invite you to let whatever it is that you're noticing in your body take all of the space that it needs. So there might be gentle whispers here. There might be yells. There might be a roar. There might be something that's actually making you want to move. There may be something very subtle, crystal clear knowing. There might be whispers. And what is this voice telling you in this moment? It could be something as simple as noticing that you're cold and you need a blanket. Or it could be a wild, deep, ravenous knowing for something that you need, something that you feel, something that you know. Yeah. And softening into that, letting it be easy. Letting it be easy. And I invite you to stay in contact with your body, with your body's voice. Whether there's whispers or roars throughout this session as Eimear and I now chat. See how what we're saying is landing inside of you. You might want to keep your eyes closed. You might want to keep checking in. You might want to have a hand on your belly. Whatever gives you most capacity to stay in touch with the truth in your body. Wonderful. Oof, and so it is.
Thank you. That was so, so beautiful.
Mm.
So beautiful. And it struck me as you said, guided us, and you said your body is the mouthpiece for your soul.
Mm.
So thank you for reminding me of this, to come back here to this place from which I know this is my journey to repair the severance that I've experienced over lifetimes from this sacred vessel. So thank you for that beautiful dropping in and remembrance as an opening to remembrance of our sacred roar within.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And I feel so present in this moment with the awareness of how wonderful it is that we do get to make this reconnection in this lifetime. Because while there can be challenge here, and while for some of us, what will bring us inward is difficulty in the body, we'll start to notice that there's pain or fatigue or numbness or disconnection. What it leads us to, no matter what the gateway is the aliveness, is the joy, is the absolute rapture with life and the connection with all that is our innate birthright. And this is what we come in experiencing as tiny children, and then we've been disconnected from it, and we get to reclaim it now. And there were so many women who couldn't do that, and men, and now we can do it. How delicious.
Yes, absolutely. And would you like to share with people then your journey of reclamation and this connection to the land and the sacred sites, this pilgrimage that you've been on?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it would be my pleasure. So, as you shared in the beautiful introduction, I used to have a very fast-paced, busy, out there life. And then I realized that I wanted something more and surrendered to that and listened to my body. And she's guided me on a magical mystery tour of coming back to life in all kinds of ways and retraining. And then, she's taught me to live in a whole new way. My body has taught me to. And it's interesting, Eimear, because even as I speak this, I can hear the me from 15 years ago saying, oh my God, can you believe how flowery you sound? Can you stop this? But, that's just hilarious to me because, that's part of the wound that we're working with, this notion that this talking about connection to the divine and life force and all of these things is in some way bad. So I'm just going to put that on a little shelf there and invite anybody who's watching who's got any of this going along. Maybe it's your first summit, maybe the word witch you're not sure about. Let's just have a minute and take that off. Anything that feels pedestrian or domestic or normal or out there or weird or wild, all of it gets to be here, right? So yeah, I used to live this very, in many ways, straight down the line life. And then having to follow my body because she gave me such clear, visceral no to find her yes, has taught me to trust, to know that when I do that, when I go a day at a time and a moment at a time, and I trust what truly feels good, what truly brings aliveness to my body in terms of what to do, whether that's making a plan, planning something 6 months down the line, or literally navigating my day one moment at a time. This has taught me that the universe is right there with us, and we need to know that more than ever at this time. And so I'll just, as briefly as I can, say that I got these very clear knowings to make sure that I was gathered in a social setting on Beltane this year. And it kept coming through. So I did, and I went to this gorgeous event, and I met this woman, and we have a conversation. And she mentioned this guy who speaks on Gaia, and I'd already had some nudges to go and rewatch his stuff. So I went home and I watched his stuff, and watching this program Oh, I tell you, downloads like I've not had for a very long time that just felt so clear and so delicious. And it said, go to sacred sites and energetic power points on the planet. Put your body on the earth and discover what they teach us about healing in relation to energy, aliveness, exhaustion, and chronic fatigue. So then I started to plan my trip, and I let both my desires and the currents of how things fell into place show me where I was going. And so the whole of August, September, part of October, I was away from my home, and I was traveling around Gloucestershire, Somerset, Pembrokeshire, Cardiganshire. So being with the standing stones, going to goddess temples, lying on the earth, taking medicine walks, being with the ocean. Oh my goodness. And I'm just in a kind of regathering point, and then in a few days I go away again, Herefordshire and Snowdonia. And the main thing that's been coming through, Eimear, is, and this is not just for, this is for all of us, know your power. Come back to your center. Respect what you know. Respect what you know. One of the first pieces that came through to me, I do very little research, because to me it's all about how I feel and what comes through my felt sense and intuition when I go there and see the energies. And sometimes I'm called to research, and very quickly I discovered, I couldn't believe I hadn't known how between the 3rd and the 12th century, the Roman Catholic Church told us it's not okay to worship at the sacred sites. And for 40,000 years, what could be called paganism, so communing with the forces of nature, working with the energies that sustain all life, had been our modus operandi in across the globe. And we'd known the power of our life force for healing, for joy, for sense of place and purpose in the world, for fertility, for aliveness, for sexuality, for pleasure, for all of it. Oh, and then we were told this is not okay. And so they, when we didn't listen, they reappropriated the sites and put their churches where the old temples had been. And one of the things that struck me, that really got me, was where there had been temples dedicated to female deities, it was replaced by images of the Virgin Mary, this woman who hadn't even had sex to make a baby. No connection, with the pleasure, with the body, with the sexuality, with the prana. Where there had been statues or images of Pan and Santam, so the gods of fertility and of living fire, these were twisted and replaced by images of Satan. And where there had been these images of flowing dragons through the temples, representing our life force, our prana, our aliveness, the connection to it, everything that it taught us, and the way in which it keeps us channeling with the divine, they were replaced with images of the gallant St. Michael spearing the dragon. And I just thought, and we're wondering why there's an epidemic, particularly amongst women, of chronic fatigue across the globe. We were actually taught it is safer to suspect your energy, disconnect from your energy, forget it's even a thing. Don't believe that there's such a thing as the energetic body. Don't feel what you feel in your emotions. Don't let it guide you. You have to go through a middleman. You have to go to the doctor. You have to go to the priest. You have to pray. You have to bend. You have to scrape. So this energetic somatic signature, and again, this is relevant whether one is suffering from something that can be called chronic fatigue or illness or not, because for so many of us, we're just experiencing lack of luster, or we're experiencing a sense of lostness, when this guidance system, which we know when we're tiny children, which simply says, I'm going to follow what feels good. I'm going to do what brings me joy. I'm going to do what makes aliveness in my body. Actually, in this hilarious, wonderful, doing its best world that we're living in now, it's been turned upside down. So often we're taught, I'm going to do the thing that feels like the most struggle, and then I'm going to get a medal. I'm going to do the thing that feels rubbish, because actually I always wanted to follow what I felt was good when I was 2 years old. And my mom and dad would get really angry with me, and they'd say, don't you know that's not how life is? You have to buckle down. Yes, you have to go against the grain of your body. I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if it doesn't feel good for you. Do you know how selfish it is to want to follow what feels right in your body? So all of these very interesting, you could say crazy belief systems that we've ingested lifetime after lifetime, lineage after lineage, in order to keep in line with what we were told during, so the 3rd to the 12th century, what was going on with the Roman Catholic Church, and then in the witch burnings. It's not safe to be one who is vibrant and alive and connected to your rambunctiousness. It's not okay to stand out. It's not okay to commune with the earth, to understand the cycles of nature. And now we reclaim all of this. Oh God, I have to shake that off now. Everyone, let's have a little shake. This is the time when we're letting this bullshit go. Yeah. And it's not about blame. I've been a man and a woman in past lifetimes. I've been the victim and the aggressor. This is about understanding, so we can even more clearly make our way to what we're making now, right? Which is following the sound of our soul's roar, which is doing what feels amazing to you. You know, for me at the moment, is being a coach and supporting people to follow their fire and going to the sacred sites and seeing how they heal me and heal us and what they teach us all. But for you, it will be something else. But it's coming from the voice of your soul. And you might know very clearly what that is right now. You might already be doing it, or you might be feeling confused and blocked. And it's very likely there's been big shifts in your life the past 2-3 years since COVID. And really what's happening here is all we care about is feeling alive. That's all we've ever cared about. Joy, health, love, right? Following what feels like love. And as I've been saying, you know, we lost our way with all of this. We were trained to do the opposite, to swim upstream, often to ingest fear and follow what felt quite wrong in our bodies. But now, maintaining that status quo, living according to how everybody's lived before, the history books, the societal structures, they're breaking down, you know. And that's scary, but it's awesome, because they're breaking down because we're done with them. And it's time for our world that feels like love. And to do that, we can follow one breath at a time what makes us feel most alive.
Woo! Huh? Wow. And they're breaking down because of leaders like you, Ellie, and these choices that you have now consciously taken to live in this way and lead in this way and support others in doing the same. And people like all of us that are gathered here. This is why the old structures are dissolving, and it's incredibly powerful. And yeah, there's fear and there as well, as we're figuring out and getting to know what this new way is. And what you share, knowing your power, respecting what you know, feeling alive. It's just, well, the joy is emanating from you. And I can feel this in myself as well. So thank you. And were there particular sites then that you were called to? Because I feel like you're slowly making your way north to Scotland. So
I'm coming.
If that happens, I'm here. I'm waiting for you.
Definitely coming, Ema. No doubt about it.
Were there particular sites that
absolutely
that you'd like to speak of?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I went to Stanton Drew, which is Somerset, this is an incredible stone circle. The stone's missing, but still there is a complete circle, and the stones are enormous. And standing in the middle there of the circle, what I could feel was the energy of each of the stones focused on me. And even saying that in this moment, I'm aware that there's a bit of shame, because there's a bit of that old conditioning that says, it's not okay to feel center of attention. It's not okay to be receiving. the awareness from other beings. It's not okay to feel powerful. So I'm just going to put that all on the side there. We're letting that wound go. And again, these words that came through as I stood in the center of the circle and watched all of those thoughts move through my mind was, woman, know your power. We do not serve the world by bowing and scraping and saying, no, I'm not worthy of abundance, or I'm not worthy of respect. This word again, respect, that has come through almost every site I've gone to. Respect what you know. You know, it's funny, I was reading this novel and there's a man in the novel and he makes harps and he loves the wood, and he's talking about how much he respects the wood and the journey that the wood has been on through its lifetime. And I'm lying in the bath and I thought, oh my goodness, like, yes, respect the wood, but what about this vessel? You know, what about this creature, this incredible, knowing, intelligent, you are wired to the divine. That what I said about the mycelium coming, what my body shows me over and over is this connection that comes particularly from our wombs and our horrors, goes down into the earth and connects. It's funny, I've got that voice on my shoulder again. Can you believe what you sound like? This is just really practical experience for me. This is what I'm shown over and over, these experiences. I feel it. I think that as the years come on, there's going to be discoveries in the same way that there have been about what our hearts do with the heart from the Heart Math Institute, about the wombs and how our wombs are detecting huge amounts. And if we go purely to the science, you know, the intelligence in our stomachs, the intelligence in our hearts, it's been proven now that they're constantly creating with the brain up here. Energetically, what I see happening in my heart constantly is she's putting out radar the whole time. She often perceives things much more quickly than my thinking mind does. Respect for these knowings, respect for what is in your body, what is in your intuition, all of this that we were severed from. You know, we used to be the ones that were outwardly revered by the community, the midwife, the shaman, the priestess. And then that was all completely turned on its head. And this is often what we are experiencing when there's illness or chronic illness or fatigue or lackluster in our body. If we imagine these huge, energized, energetic, vital, wise entities that are making up our organs, and indeed every one of our cells, there's so much power here. But when it gets turned inwards, when it becomes, I have to suppress this, nobody can know how powerful I am, nobody can know that I'm sensing all of this, I can't even acknowledge that it's here because it's too scary. This energy, it has to go somewhere. You know, so whether we're dealing with migraines from suppressed anger, or we're dealing with cancer, or we've got chronic fatigue, or again, we're just feeling confused, that's what's happening. These huge energies in the body are being disrespected and suppressed, and it creates psychological or emotional or indeed physical experiences in our bodies. So this antithesis to that, woman, know your power. And this can be as simple as, so take 5 minutes today, tune into your womb, tune into your heart, and ask them what they're telling you about your worthiness and your knowing. Write it down. And when the time is up, get another pen and circle or highlight the most beautiful, most vibrant, most loving, most cheerleading, most celebratory, most honoring words. And then put them as reminders in your phone and let them come up throughout the day. Now, this can seem a bit, to that old way of thinking, it can seem almost egotistical, but in order to counteract the bullshit that is living often under the radar in our minds that says things like, my ideas aren't valid, my opinions aren't, no, I can't do it my way, I can't go my way, I can't follow that impulse, I have to do it the way it's always been done before, people have always shown me. No, we have to counteract that with the parts of it that say, you are so freaking awesome. I am so freaking awesome. I'm going to go and do a dance in the woods now just to express that because, it's time. We have to know this now.
It absolutely is time.
Yeah.
It is time. And thank you. And thank you for sharing as well, real time, what's flowing through you. Because this is what we're living with and living through. And you are respecting all these parts of yourself that are coming up. Amazing, amazing. And would you like to share more then in relation to your body as the mouthpiece of your soul?
Yeah, absolutely. So hearing you say that, I'm called to support us all to take a few more moments and drop in words. So you may want to let your eyes close or simply just tune into what's here for you in sensation or impulse or emotion right now. You know, when I'm using the word soul here, what I'm talking about is the essence of you. The essence of you. And I'm curious, for all taking part here, when I let those words drop, when they drop into your body, the essence of you, what's arising? And the thing about your body is that she can only speak your truth. Our minds can and indeed have been conditioned by things which, you know, they've served us for a very long time, and now it's the time of truth and awakening and the veil's being removed. So a lot of stuff which is no longer true for us, a lot of lies that we've been fed and we've ingested basically just for much of the past century to get through it, maintain the status quo, keep things in place until it was time for now, the great unraveling. And the mind is even now still filled with these, and the mind can get very swayed by outside opinions and from indeed our own opinions about who we are, or who we have been, or who we should be. And so often when our body is speaking to us and guiding us along our path of joy, the beginning of this path can look like something that we don't understand coming into our experience. But it actually is our soul speaking up. So for example, for me, when all of this started, 16 years ago, when I was in my early 20s, I had this life that I planned out since I was 9 years old. And it was beautiful. And my body kept shutting down. Now, what I believe about that is two pieces. On the one hand, there was something more for me. That while I did love working as an actress, the reason I'd gone into that was because I was all about aliveness and truth. And I'd seen this is a job where I can put on a character and then I get to express all of the emotions. And that's my job, right? I don't have to put on a suit and box everything away. But over time, this wasn't enough for me because I wanted to actually be expressing Ellie's truth and actually living Ellie's truth. And that went together with that's my soul's path. And then we've got our soul's path. What is happening at this time on the planet en masse, which is the time for the great arising of truth, because we're realigning with joy and we have to be in truth to be in true joy. So what was happening was those pieces that wanted more were speaking up, and they could only speak up in the form of this visceral experiencing in my body, because all of those pieces of me had been shelved away and boxed down. So they weren't going to make sense in my head, because my head was all about those previously conceived ideas and visions. And this is what I'm going to do. And this is how this is what I will do to feel joy. Right. And we've had all of these plans for lifetimes and decades. And then, and now we're having to come to the loving acknowledgement that actually there's something else here now, and so often this will appear in something which it seems like another piece of us that doesn't seem to fit. And so it might be coming up as a pain that we can't understand, or it might be coming up as a fatigue, or as I said, it might be there as an emotion in you which can't quite, why am I feeling so angry or frustrated or confused or sad? And this is the mouthpiece of the soul piece, and it can seem scary, but I invite you, if this is resonating for you, to celebrate. There's something here which is so important to your soul that it's coming through in some visceral way in your body, right? And it might just be an inner knowing. Like every time you see someone playing the trumpet, you're like, I have to go and do that, and I don't know why, and that's not who I am, right? Or I have to shave my head, and I don't know why, and what's everyone going to think? But something in my, right? So it can be all of these things. Celebrate it, right? So if this is true for you, I invite you to take, again, 5 minutes a day with this impulse, with this emotion, with this pain or this fatigue in your body. And you can do this if you'd like support. I think my website's on my linked page for this. Go to elliepaskell.com and go to the tab that says somatic practice. You can download this for free and do it every day. Listen. Everything that your body does is right. Everything, your body can't do things wrong. Everything is guidance. It's okay if it's painful. Parts of us won't love it, but it's okay. It's guidance. If there's pain, fatigue, confusion, there's guidance. Tune in and ask it where it's guiding you to go next, right? Your body is the mouthpiece of your soul. You can trust it. Yeah, that's what's here. Yeah.
Amazing. There's so many aspects of what you're sharing that is helping me connect even deeper. And when you share that, and that our bodies know only truth, it's just like clunk, like this huge realization is coming through for me. I can feel the heat of it rising, of everything else you've shared, and how we have, as we've been talking about, been suppressed or severed from these vessels. And this is the only truth. It's profound. Right. Thank you for bringing this forward in the way that you are. Yeah. And so many people in the chat on Zoom are, even Michelle is sharing, I've written so much while we've been here. I am worthy. My voice is important. And so many practical ways as well of taking note of how amazing we all are on our phones. So they pop up throughout the day. It's just so gorgeous. And the writings. And hello, everyone over on YouTube as well. Lovely to see you all here. Yeah. Thank you for sharing these deep truths. Yes. Hello. Lovely to have you all here. Amazing. So is there anything else you'd like to share? Because another question I had as well was around why aliveness is the new black.
Yeah, I think I'll keep this very brief because I think I will probably be repeating myself. But, you know, what I just heard you say, Eimear, was something that I said landed in your body like a... And that it's really important to note that, you know, nothing that I say is important for any of us unless it feels like truth in your body. You know, as the structures are breaking down around us, our guiding compass of aliveness is a massive gift. That's all we have to follow. What feels like expansion? What feels like truth? What feels like health or joy or aliveness? And sometimes that's going to feel really delicious and even ecstatic. And sometimes it'll just feel a little better. It'll just feel a little better than the other option. You know, it'll just feel a little bit more like expansion as opposed to contraction. But again, in this world where we've been taught to follow what feels hard, to go against our own grain in the belief that we'll get a bigger medal or will please the people around us more. We can't be reminded enough that as all of that stuff just is ceasing to make sense, as the veils are being removed and we're dropping deeper and deeper into truth, and we're less and less interested in living in ways that we just live because it's how it's always been done. As our soul's voices are getting louder and we're getting closer and closer and deeper into living how we truly came here to live, whenever we feel lost, to come back to that question. The question essentially is, what is the next right thing to do that feels like love? You know? And if we're feeling really resourced and rambunctious that day, it might be some big, beautiful thing. And if we're feeling anxious or frightened, it might be some beautiful, simple self-care, like, I'll be brave enough today to cancel that thing I was going to go and do and spend an hour wrapped in a blanket. You know, the next right thing that feels like love, which is synonymous with that which feels like aliveness. Yeah. And I'll just add in, I hope it's okay, that this self-care piece and this self-respect piece is so key. It's such a wound that we have carried, that what emanates innately from our vessel is wrong or not good enough. What emanates innately from our vessel is so deeply needed by the wider world and by ourselves to be expressed for health and joy and sense of purpose and place in this world. And is it okay if I mention my free gift?
Yes, absolutely. And anything else you have coming up too for people.
So, oh goodness me. Well, there's some very exciting things coming up, but they're not going to be announced yet. So what I will say is, in order to have access to those pieces, I also invite you guys to register for my Self-Love Sunday session. So these are, you can attend these sessions for free. You're welcome to make donation if you like, but you're very welcome. You can come in for free. And it's just the most beautiful monthly community space. It's a space in which you're going to be supported by me and in the presence of this beautiful tribe that has been gathering now. I think we've been doing it for more than almost 3.5 years, to drop into worthiness, to drop into self-love. I won't go on my big self-love explanation right now, but it's just one of the first pieces that started to come through me as I was releasing all of these things from my life, which my mind, bless it, had really clung to for safety. My agent, my boyfriend, my London life, my everything. And while it felt amazing on so many levels and so right and such a relief in my precious body, I would get so freaked out sometimes. Of course I would. And my body showed me to get still and to get quiet and to meditate and to drop in. And when I did that, I began to discover that there was this deeply kind voice inside of me, which told me over and over again, you are doing everything right. You can't get this wrong. And the slightly more rambunctious version of that voice was just letting me know how much, for so many of us, our psyches are woven with unnecessary criticism, and that how we are relating to ourselves is the filter through which we're experiencing every single thing in our life. You know, we think we want more joy, come back to self-love. We think we want to have clearer guidance, come back to self-love. We think we want more abundance and money, yes, come back to self-love. Everything, like, there is no one fundamental truth. There is no one fundamental experience of life. The Buddhists say that there is as many realms of experience in this world as human beings. We are constantly recreating our experience. And the first way with which we meet the world and experience everything, our body, our food, our sense of self, our bank balance, our career, comes from how we're treating ourselves. So if you would like to nourish this, my loves, you are so welcome. So you can click the link, I guess, beneath this video. Is it? Where will the link be?
Yeah, it's on your speaker page on the event schedule for the summit. Yeah, and the reminder emails that go out.
Okay, beautiful. So it's there. And yeah, so it's elliepaskell.com/self-love. You can sign up for free. It's a monthly event. The next one's the 27th of November. And I can't wait to meet you guys.
Such a gorgeous offering that's been going for so many years. Self-Love Sunday. Thank you for reminding us all and bringing us all back to love. Yeah. Ultimate source and power of our truth. Yeah. It's very, very gorgeous. And thank you for the journey you've been taking for yourself and the collective at this particular time. It's really powerful.
Yeah, and I've just realized that I didn't mention, if you guys want to be kept up to date with my journey, I'm making videos on my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel is Radical Wellbeing with Ellie Paskell. You type in Ellie Paskell, it'll come up. And when you subscribe, you'll get all those updates. It's very exciting.
It is, because I'm following you too, and I just love seeing you on the land with the stones, in the stone circles. Yeah. And the power that emanates from that is so healing, so healing. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share or speak about?
There's so much, but that's enough for now. So what I will simply say is, everybody take a breath into your body. You might want to let your eyes close or let them rest with a soft gaze. Coming back to your felt sense truth will change your life, and it can only keep you on track with joy. And as you're present here, notice that your heart is beating. Notice that you are living in a wise vessel. And I invite you to come back to this felt sense awareness throughout your day. Whether that means simply bringing a hand to your heart and reminding yourself that you're in a body, or whether it's using my downloadable practice, or actually taking a few minutes, particularly if you're feeling anxious or heightened, take yourself to the bathroom, shut that door, sit down, close your eyes, tune in. What is going on here? What is your body saying in this moment, and what is the next right thing that is guided by love? And you can't go wrong. Yeah. And so it is. Oh, Eimear, thank you for holding this vibrant, potent, needed space.
Thank you for being here and joining us at the round table. At the stone circles. And I've seen in the comments people saying if they can't go out on the land or come to these specific places, that you really can through what Ellie is sharing, and through these spaces, these kind of spaces too.
Right. Yeah, time and space aren't real. So the capacity to connect when we focus on that geographical location and what's there, it's real. That shiz is real. Yeah. So watch my videos and you'll receive the nourishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Well, thank you so much for showing up here today on Self-Love Sunday. and sign up. 27th of November, mark the date for Ellie's next one. And it's been so beautiful. Do access Ellie's gift as well and follow, like I am. I'm following you in your journey and the roar of your soul and the knowing of the depths of this vessel. So thank you for showing us and leading the way.
Yeah, you're so welcome, Eimear. It's been a complete pleasure. And gosh, yeah, get everybody chatting in the box. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so many gorgeous emojis and lovely compliments. And everyone is resonating with what you're saying here and on YouTube. So thank you. And to everyone watching, I was saying before we started recording that it's like, Ellie, you're setting us up to deeply root in and ground here to the land, to our bodies, for our next conversation that's happening in just over 2 hours with Cheryl Prince. So we will see you all in the next live or somewhere else in the ethers. Thank you all for now. See you all soon. Bye.